Hello, everybody. I'm Mark.
I'm Britton. And with us, we have our special guest, Mark's nephew, Dominic.
Hello, good evening.
And this is Dominic's second time here, and this is the second time he's picked a terrible movie. But, you know, we're going to get to that in a second,
Yeah.
but let's just dive in and get started. So the movie was called Frozen. And
Not
it's not
that one.
Yeah, not the one you're thinking of. Go ahead, Bert. Why don't you give a little synopsis?
So it's a story of these annoying college kids, like the one who's on the podcast with us.
Yeah.
And who maybe that was why you chose it. Like, you had some kind of kinship with them.
Yeah, I really felt as soon as I saw the movie selection, I was like, these are me.
These are my people.
Yes.
But yeah, they go on a trip to New England, on a skiing trip, and there's the again unnecessary tension where the one friend just wanted it to be him and his bud going skiing, and the guy brought his girlfriend along.
And so then they go on the skiing a little bit, and they get to they go for one last ride, and they're on the ski lift, and there was a big storm coming, and they have to convince this ski lift attendant to let him go one more time. And one thing leads to another, and basically they think that the guys who work there think that the ski lifts are empty, everything's closed down, so they shut it down, and these guys are just stuck on this ski lift above all this snow and apparently roving packs of wolves.
Yeah,
and it's a fight for survival to find a way to live.
Like at some point, well, first off, like the first half hour that they're up there, they're just bitching.
Yeah.
Once they're bitching that they have to pee, that it's cold, that they're hungry. It just
eventually they just move on past survival and just start talking about like relationships.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
The boyfriend decides to jump and ends up like Will Ferrell from Austin Powers, and then it's just a series of inconvenient things that's bothering him as his dumb bones are sticking out of his legs. And
then a bunch of wolves, they find him and they decide, all right, we're gonna eat him now, and so they eat him.
Yeah.
And so dude's friend, after about another half hour of them bitching, he's like, you know what? Maybe I can climb over to this ladder. Maybe that'll help.
On the razor sharp airline cable.
Yeah, apparently that's razor sharp.
Yeah.
And so he climbs his way down. He gets to the ladder. He makes it down to the ground, and then the wolves eat him.
Yeah, he gets eaten by these wolves. By the end of this movie, were very well fed.
Yeah, they didn't go after the girl who made it down.
Like the other wolf barked at that one guy like, well, you're going for thirds? He was browbeaten by his wolf bride.
Yeah, he's like, all right, don't you think you've had enough, Harold?
Yeah, think about your cholesterol.
And so he just kind of left.
Yeah.
Like, fine. And she gets off the ski lift. She just basically falls off somehow.
Yeah.
The ski chair just breaks, and she just falls off, and then the ski lift lands on her leg. So now she's just like crawling around like Sarah Connor. And
she's tumbling like the baby in Kung Pao.
And then she finally makes it to the road, and the guy's like, "Oh damn! I better get you to the hospital." And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was an easy synopsis.
Yeah, I think this is the most we talked about literally almost everything in this movie.
There were like a series of pointless ancillary conversations, mixed in between, but. That's pretty much the whole plot.
There is one thing to talk about, as always. Just how everybody just kept on making wrong decisions in this movie.
The girl was... the girl absolutely refused to cover her frozen flesh.
Yeah, she lost... First of all, she tried to smoke a cigarette, and then she dropped her glove like a freaking child. And she's like, oh, no, my glove. And then she just keeps it out in the cold, She doesn't put it in her pocket or anything. She puts it on the bar of the ski lift until it freezes there because she's stupid. They're all stupid.
Like she doesn't button up her coat at all.
The one guy had a pair of goggles that he threw at somebody.
Yeah.
While it was hailing, too.
Yeah. The other guy, the boyfriend, had... he was complaining about how cold it was, but his jacket was wide open at the top. They weren't even turtling inside, I mean?
They were maybe they were just they kept themselves cold so they could bitch about the cold.
I think they were just too stupid to survive.
Yeah. Like, this was Darwin, proving himself right.
So, all right. So, boyfriend jumps and breaks both his legs. They're like, "Oh, we need to find something to tourniquet your legs there."
Yeah.
So the girlfriend throws her scarf, and it lands in the bushes. And so he's like, "Well, I can't reach that." And then the friend, throws something down. Instead of walking on his hands, kind of, and lifting himself up and getting close to it, he just keeps on doing basically toe grabs until he can reach the thing. It was just stupid. It was like, these people don't deserve to live.
And they don't. Well,
we don't know about the girl.
Well, I have, like I said before, I think she's gonna end up tied up in some kind of dungeon.
Yeah, like she meets this random guy on the road.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna take you somewhere very nice." And
the hospital's 10 minutes away. Just sniff this rag real quick.
Yeah, and so she's gonna be dinner.
Yeah,
there's no this is gonna be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre situation.
There's a crawl space in her future.
You're either dinner for the wolves or you're dinner for the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's name is he's actually part of the wolves. He's a wolf in human skin. Like every now and again he gets down on all fours and howls at the moon. He's their alpha.
Like he's just wearing the face of one of the friends. Over his wolf in person clothing.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, "Oh, I'm driving this human car. We'll take you to the the hospital."
And wasn't there a joke that we were saying like they drag the friend, the one friend, back to the den and raise him?
Yeah. Like
their boyfriend when he fell
the boyfriend friend is like, "Oh, those wolves are gonna be friendly to him." Now, there is kind of one thing I do want to talk about this movie. As if you couldn't tell already, this wasn't a great movie.
No, not at all.
But after you get through the first half hour of them being annoying and the unnecessary tension for tension's sake, it is an unintentional comedy as far as I'm concerned. Like every decision they make is the wrong decision to the point where it's almost farcical.
Yeah.
I think the best part and the best comedic part was when the boyfriend was lying down on the ground and the people on top of the chair were poking at the snow on the chair, and the snow.
Yeah, because they wanted to get the ice off.
Yeah, bits of ice was just falling on the boyfriend for like a solid 5 minutes.
He's just sitting there like,
mister?
He's covering up and like just bunk. We joked that like everything that they threw landed on this poor guy's leg.
When they had to pee, they accidentally peed on him.
Yeah, it was just like everything bad that could have happened to this guy happened to him. In fact, I think he had it the worst of everybody.
Yeah, we don't know how the other guy got eaten by wolves either.
Like the other guy was skiing away and the wolves were chasing him because they thought he was playing, I guess. And then eventually they caught up and they're like, "What do we do now?"
Well,
let's eat him.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, well, might as well.
It was like hey, I can wear this guy's skin.
And then they found they found a van, and like almost hitting the girl was an accident, mainly because they're still learning how to. Like they don't have thumbs, so they can't really grip the wheel that well.
Like they don't know how to drive per se.
Yeah.
So it just kind of skidded out because it's a wolf driving a car.
Yeah.
Now I say this a lot. I said it last time, I think, but I'm gonna say it again. Very briefly.
Yeah.
How would you fix this movie? How would you fix this movie, Dominic? And how would you fix this movie, Britain?
That's tough.
The easiest cop out answer is just make them smarter, because they just did a bunch of dumb stuff. They no sane person would do in that situation.
That actually brings up a good point that I've talked about before, where like I do appreciate movies more when the characters are competent and still facing adversity. Kind of like I think I talked about this for Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
Like everybody in that movie, the cops, the workers, everybody are extremely competent, but the bad guys are still good at what they do, and it actually makes the threat more threatening if you're competent instead of making mistakes. This was just a bunch of people Darwining them way to death.
It's really tough to make this a better movie, because this is It's a stupid premise to begin with. It's like making a movie about someone stuck on the toilet.
You know, I can understand that the premise is in a way a little bit interesting or scary because you know, this isn't anything supernatural. This is just like, you know, now you're stuck in a, you know, bad situation happened. Now you're stuck basically and you're helpless and you have to try to find a way with your own smarts. And these people didn't have smarts. I would have actually taken away the wolves. I feel like they didn't really, like, it was just an unnecessary like added you know, challenge. It was like, why do you might as well just have a wheat thresher just running back and like underneath them so that there's even more danger if you fall, you know.
I was like, the wolves weren't that bad. I would have saved the wolves. Like when the boyfriend's down there, you have the wolves to kind of foreshadow and then have them come later when they're chasing the other guy, because I think it would have been far more effective if the boyfriend bled out and had a slow, kind of miserable death.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I would have definitely had the boyfriend die that way because it's much more horrifying to see something like that. Like, you think it's horrifying to see the guy getting mauled to death by wolves, but if he's just like slowly losing consciousness, like, you know, maybe 20 feet from you and there's nothing you can do about it, that is that's almost
it's traumatic.
Yeah, that's a gut punch right there. So yeah, maybe the wolves will be at the end, or, you know, if you're gonna do wolves, you might as well do a lot of things. You might as well have eagles come down, like you were saying. Bears, yeah.
I think a bear would have been a better and probably more plausible threat.
And you can pay them with marshmallows.
Yeah, like they're easy to pay, those bears, and because I think I'm not sure about wolves. I don't think wolves are really as present, and or rather, like, I think wolves in general avoid people, while bears will just saunter their lumpy ass up and try to steal your honey.
Like, like I would have had. Okay, I would have had to be bears. Yes, bears are an obvious thing. That's an easy thing. Mm-hmm. I would have had to start with one big, you know, burly, dumb, marshmallow-eating bear, sniffing around and, you know, eating a guy and everything like that. And then I would have had more bears come out, and then I would have had them be the country bears. I would have had them be a bear musical band.
Yeah. Like, imagine there is like a, for some reason, luggage on the ski lift, and eventually the ski lift chair breaks and it's just a jug band instruments,
and they just start playing the
they put on the overalls.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna scale back, maybe not wolves, or maybe not even bears.
Okay,
but a pack of mutant cannibals.
All right.
Like The Hills Have Eyes.
All right.
Now, because not only are they down there waiting for them to fall, but once they see, like, the first guy falls and they come out and they eat them, you know, like they do, I guess, like the hill people do in The Hills Have Eyes. But now they're setting traps to try to get the people to fall off the ski lift. Now there's an added element of danger where you don't just have to fight the elements. Of course, I'm losing the basic premise, which is a somewhat realistic situation and just bad luck, but no, I'm just going straight out. Where now there's a thinking monster down there trying to knock them down, throwing rocks at them.
Like to imagine they're both as dumb, and as they're throwing the hats and gloves down to try and get him away, he's throwing him back.
Yeah, they're throwing back to knock him down.
Stop that.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you down there.
It doesn't fit. Yeah, you're gonna get cold.
Like, I imagine they have axes and they try to chop down the pole and everything like that.
and hit a wire.
That fries one of them, but it doesn't stop them. Now they just have to think of other ways to do this.
One of them ends up praying to it. That's it. I don't have anything else.
That's how the movie ends.
That's how
what the hell is wrong with these? The praying to the wire actually somehow, like, they just jump. They jump and they run away.
They jump onto the lumpy mutants and ride them down the mountain
like a toboggan.
Yeah, like Homer Simpson when he found that body.
Yeah.
eventually just like start coming together. Perhaps the people stuck do become the cannibals, and they come out for the next people that get stuck on the.
I like that.
ski lift.
Yeah.
I do like that.
You see, because as they're riding these toboggan cannibals down, they start to get hungry. The girl hasn't had food in a while. She didn't get the pizza because she was bitching about it.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know what? This guy's probably close to dead, and they just start ripping up hunks of his flesh and chewing him up like,
It's like jerky.
It's not so bad. And then, once they eat human flesh, like, they can't go back to regular civilization.
And also, I imagine, like, a lot of the land over there, like, the owner of the ski resort was also getting kickbacks from the government to dispose of toxic waste and radioactive or nuclear waste.
I imagine that the ski lift operators, like, they kind of have a deal with the cannibal mutants.
Yeah.
Where they,
Oh, they are the cannibal mutants.
Oh, okay.
Like,
that works.
they take their masks off at the end. Like, it's a whole cult of mutant cannibal people.
So you're just saying that every ski lift operator is really just a cannibal
Like,
mutant?
everyone who works for that organization.
Okay. And they have their, like, they have their high priest cannibal mutant.
And that's why they aren't going to let him get away, because they know too much now.
And so the girl, she's the only one who I imagine survives, like in the movie. She gets down, and they actually she's about to leave. She sees a car on the road, and she stops, and she turns around and she joins the cannibal mutants because she can't go home again. And they show her, they take her in, they accept her into their fold.
Yeah.
And she becomes eventually the new Grand High Priest.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's the only logical way to do a story like this.
Now that would be interesting. Now that's a movie.
Yeah, that actually has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yes.
Yep. It has a character arc.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's like, not all character arcs are good.
Yeah, it doesn't have... a character arc can be bad as well.
It doesn't have to be sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it's cannibal mutants and high priestesses.
Yeah, sometimes character arc doesn't have to have growth.
Yeah, it can be a decline.
Yeah.
Like, it can still arc down, is all I'm saying. So yeah, the cannibal mutants, that's the only way I can see us doing a better version of Frozen. And also this movie, Frozen 2.
Yeah. Well, let's combine the two.
Okay. So the girlfriend, it probably has ice powers.
Yeah.
And she's the one who causes, whenever she gets upset, that's when it starts to rain and snow and everything like that. Like, that's when the storm comes.
And then the boyfriend keeps getting mad at her, which makes her even angrier.
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps on coming because she's like Elsa.
Yeah. And then again, I guess couldn't you just build a
snowman?
A snow? Well, yeah, like an ice stairs down.
This is before she sings "Let It Go," so she has no control over her
So
powers.
she has to sing her song first.
Yeah, she's not going to sing her song until the end, and even then, it's the country bears that sing the song.
And they get the frozen powers.
Yeah,
like
and
she squandered it.
she spent too much time with it, and now it's been passed on. Like
she wasn't worthy. The country bears are.
Yeah, the country
they
bears are worthy.
Wreak havoc on society.
Well, yeah, they're bears that can control the weather.
Yeah,
that can control ice storms.
Like, they're not that smart. So they. Well, yeah, they just go to a supermarket and freeze everyone in there, and then eat all the potato chips.
I was gonna say eat all the people.
No, bears. I imagine in real life just like junk food.
They're like raccoons.
Yeah,
big raccoons.
Like, if you give a big juicy corpse or a pack of Pringles, I think they'd go for the Pringles.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I'd choose the same thing. You know? I'm not gonna eat I'm not gonna choose people over Pringles.
No,
for food.
Like. Not while society's still a thing.
I mean, like, what kind of Pringles are we talking about? You have to specify here.
Let's see.
Barbecue?
No.
Barbecue's the best.
I know, but you're not getting. That's not your choice.
Okay.
Like, it's either people or sour cream and onion.
I think sour cream and onion.
No. It's either people or their shitty ranch.
Oh. How about people or their salt and vinegar?
Oh.
Ooh, okay, people, 100%. That's not even a question.
It's like, all right.
I wouldn't eat any good salt and vinegar.
No, yeah, it's... Yeah, I would guess I would cross that threshold into eating the flesh of humans.
You guys crossed that threshold quick. It was like, do I want these bad Pringles, or do I want to cross the threshold between man and animal?
Look, you have to do what you need to do to survive.
Exactly. I mean,
Look, make a better chip is all I'm saying.
Like, if those are my two options between death, yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Okay, I guess you make a point. Well, I mean, you wouldn't try the Pringles first, or is it just like the person offering it's like, listen, either you take the Pringles and enjoy the Pringles, or you eat the person. You can't try one or the other.
It's like saying, would you try to eat dirt? Like, I already know it's not going to do what I want it to do.
And dirt in this case, I just want to make sure that's salt and vinegar Pringles for you.
Yeah.
In this case, okay,
it is dirt.
Okay. Harsh words.
Look.
accurate.
Yeah. Okay, it's. I don't know how to better express this.
No, you've expressed it pretty well. Here's the thing. I like salt and vinegar chips, but even I am not sure what I would choose in this situation.
By this metric, this makes you more savage than a cannibal.
Like, regular salt and vinegar chips are okay.
Uh-huh.
Pringles salt and vinegar chips are kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like eating bleach.
Yeah, that's just salt and vinegar chips in general.
No, I love salt and vinegar chips. Don't badmouth salt and vinegar chips.
They are. They're terrible.
They're delicious. Are you kidding me?
No, you're kidding. They're worse than dirt. They're worse than what Britain said. They're concrete. They're gonna break. They're gonna break your mouth while you.
What kind of alloy are these chips?
They're delicious. You guys gotta stop it now. You're making me mad.
It's
a flugelhorn all over
You're gonna
again.
turn it Elsa. You're gonna ice us over.
It's like I'm not to badmouth you, but it's like the Bachelor chip. Like, all right, what kind of condiments do I have to dip these chips in? Well, I have salt and I have vinegar left.
And it's delicious.
No, it's not.
That's why I like to pour Tabasco sauce on Tostito chips, because it's like a salty vinegar.
I'm not going to lie to you. I use salt and vinegar to clean copper coins.
I know you do. I know. I want you to stop doing that, because those are my chips that you're using here, and they always taste like copper.
Yeah. You're eating something that can dissolve metals.
I have an iron stomach. Well, not anymore. It's dissolved.
Well, I have a polyp stomach, at least.
I have a stomach. Can we all agree on that?
I had a stomach.
Now I have no friends.
I have a stomach. I have no stomach, but I must eat.
Good. Yeah, that's funny.
All the listeners are gonna get that one.
So yeah,
I'm sorry. Your hallowed vinegar and salt pretzel.
Salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah,
and they can only be the hers ones. I'm just adding more to this. Like, it's only very specific salt and vinegar chip I like.
I have no problem with hers. It's
the flavor I don't like.
I'm just, I guess they have to market to people who like the taste of garbage.
I mean, honestly, that's exactly what it smells like. It smells like rancid garbage.
Yeah,
making me hungry just thinking about it.
Maybe it's like one of those like acquired tastes, like surströmming. Like that fermented rotten fish that is a Swedish. Okay, I think the Swedish people eat.
That you know what? I can't badmouth. I really can't badmouth anyone's taste in food nowadays.
No.
Yeah, it's. I guess every culture has some weird, disgusting food that no one should eat.
Like sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate sauerkraut.
Does anybody here like sauerkraut?
No.
Okay, thank God.
And that's vinegar too, isn't it? Vinegar and cabbage.
Yeah, it's there's the big difference is potatoes with vinegar and everything. That's fine. Cabbage. Actually, I don't like cabbage in general. Cabbage smells like cabbage. I don't even think I need is it smells like cabbage. Like, oh yeah, you're right.
It's so distinct.
Yeah,
it's a musty fart smell. Like broccoli.
It's a Britain smell.
Yeah. First you take my chocolate milk.
was like,
And you take and you take.
And
10
I
years
take your
ago.
pride.
I think it was 10 years ago almost.
Yeah, it was a decade
was.
ago.
Oh
Has
my
it been-
gosh.
Was
I know.
Was I 9 then? Had to be
Yeah,
around.
something like that.
Like 9 or 10.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Nothing matters.
Everything will be dust.
So yeah, I guess when it comes to eating salt and vinegar chips or people, I'm still gonna pick salt and vinegar chips.
Look, you.
But you guys can have all the
Listen.
people you. Wait a minute.
What?
Does that mean I'm gonna be the one being eaten then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, we're gonna get a taste of cannibalism, and then we're gonna be like Uncle Mark, like.
Like, there's only so much salt and vinegar chips, and you're kind of a resource.
I'm gonna stuff myself with so much salt and vinegar that I'm gonna make my meat taste terrible.
Hey, you're also going to preserve yourself.
Damn it! Oh man, this Mark is kept for all the winter.
Oh man, he's pickled. And yeah, that's how we get through the.
The winter.
I'm presuming it's an ice age. Like I would like to think that it would be an extreme situation like that I would
Yeah.
that I would eat people, not like, all right, my favorite chip is gone, I'm gonna eat people now.
So yeah, I'm worried that it's gonna be more like well, it's snowing outside and they closed the stores, but I'm hungry and I don't
And
feel
you're wearing-
like
and
cooking
you're-
any of this stuff
and you're
here.
wearing that steak costume.
It's Halloween. Leave me
I
alone.
know.
Yeah, well, I guess
Yeah,
I'll be bobbing for apples in a second.
And it's early snow on this Halloween.
It's snowed on Halloween before.
It has it?
Yeah, we've had snow. Remember the video we made for Hurricane Sandy? It snowed that Halloween because we recorded that last bit on there.
Huh.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gets
No,
early. I mean, it didn't accumulate. It was just snowing.
Yeah.
I don't like
But,
that. I don't know what to do with that knowledge now.
Hey, what do you do with any knowledge? You bury it deep down and you
Hey.
forget about it.
Yeah. What else can you do, Britain? I'm just called you Britain. What else can you do, Dominic?
I'm just gonna like keep it in the back of my mind that when I'm older, I'm gonna be like, yeah, there was a horrible blizzard during Halloween
Yeah.
one night. You're crying about it being cold on Halloween. I had to walk through snow.
Yeah,
Like-
uphill both ways.
Like, statistically, by the time you have, or not statistically, by the time you're old enough to tell that story to kids, like, society will have crumbled.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna be telling that to soccer balls.
You're gonna be telling the story about how like they used to feed us. They used to put razor blades on our apples for trick or treat, and we liked it. You know, we ate it, and the kids are gonna be like, "I wish we could taste apple," because they're eating lint and leaves.
They used to put salt and vinegar on potato chips. Why would they waste food like that?
What's a potato?
Ah, it was
It was a wonder
well-
plant.
it could. You can make snacks out of it. You can light bulbs with it. Or it could
You
do
make
anything.
drinks out of it. It was
Yeah.
truly a wonderful time to be alive.
What happened to it?
Some asshole made salt and vinegar chips and
Yeah, it all went downhill. They
The
went
world
extinct.
rioted.
The Great Potato War happened. What? All right, in your imagination, what do you think the Great Potato War was?
I was imagining a bunch of people who just like got so fed up with people turning potatoes into chips. They picked up potatoes, just started using them as weapons. Just started like great nations of the world, like the United States and China, took potatoes and just started using them as weapons and throwing them at each other.
like a snowball fight, just with
Essentially.
potatoes.
And and the soldiers eventually got so good they can make it go like bullet fast speeds.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
make
pretty
like
good.
potato guns and stuff out of it too.
Did they,
Out of
I
potatoes.
guess they had the X-Men help them out and throw the potatoes.
like you know, like they make a potato cannon, or like they have like they have bombs that are just really just big sacks of potatoes that land on people. Although this is not at all what I pictured the Great Potato Wars.
No, not at all.
Mine was a potato uprising.
Yeah, same
They
here.
were tired of being cooked and made into potato chips.
Yep. Like I imagine it's kind of like in Futurama when they were the poplars.
Oh yeah.
So you know, for centuries we have just been eating the babies of these potato creatures, pulling them from the ground, and they'll be like, "Oh, where's our babies?" And they'll plant more.
Yeah.
And we don't ask questions. We'll just take the babies and eat them too.
We just know that there's potatoes now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, sweet. I
Yeah.
have to plant these ones.
That's the big conspiracy, is that no one ever does.
And here's the funny thing: potatoes are the only plants that have eyes.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, there might be other plants that have eyes, but
I mean, if there's a potato uprising, they have to have eyes.
I mean,
Yeah.
you ever heard of the an eye of a potato and everything?
Yeah.
No. You
You never heard of that?
no, I never heard. What's an eye of a
know,
potato?
the little like little divots or whatever.
Little
yeah.
little nodules where
Yeah.
the roots come out.
Yeah,
I
like-
just call those blemishes, like imperfections.
I call those warts.
No, those are potato eyes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be first in the potato uprising.
Yeah,
They're gonna be mad at me.
You're looking at them like you're ugly. You're an ugly potato. Then you dip it in acid. I don't know. you're evil at this
Yeah,
point.
you're a war criminal. It's gonna be a tribunal against you.
It's like when they finally get you, like they're gonna make an example out of you.
Yeah, like you are the anti-John Connor.
You are you're on trial for, and this actually starts a potato war, them putting you
Yeah.
on trial for your crimes against potatoes.
Well, I imagine his crimes against potatoes is what starts the war.
yeah, I mean that
like-
is the first shot.
Like they somehow had made peace with us, eating their children. I guess because they make enough of them, but
It gets
Yeah.
rid of overpopulation problems.
but Dominic,
Yeah.
you just having this genocide and torture of these poor creatures' children.
dipping them in acid.
Yeah,
just
like-
bad name calling.
You see, here's the thing. Even if you consider potatoes like lighting light bulbs or
Yeah.
becoming vodka or becoming food,
Yeah.
it's like it's all part of like this, usefulness, this
Yeah,
circle
it's
of
a food
life.
chain,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, they consider it a part of nature.
Yeah, but you're just a monster to them. You're calling them warts and you're boiling them in acid.
Yeah, and you're kind of like the Saddam Hussein character to them.
Oh God.
And so like they finally, when they rise up, they capture you. They have you on like they're all tied up like hog-tied, and they're riding you
You're
through
in a
town.
cage.
Yeah,
They're throwing
they're throwing people at you.
Yeah. Rotten people.
Yeah.
They're actually the cannibals in this
Oh,
scenario.
yeah. and then like they finally put you on like the proceedings are very legal. It is a very well put together proceedings. The
But
humans are interested in it.
All on
it
national
is
television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a kangaroo court. There's no way you're not getting a conviction.
And so after this is like a 3-week trial.
Yeah.
They call potato experts who are in like little potato coats, like lab coats with like little those little circle things that the doctors wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be
A potato dressed like that?
yeah, potato dressed like that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be human testimony from, I guess, us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were here witnessing first when I was bad mouthing
Yeah.
potatoes.
Is there a potato interpreter?
No, they speak English.
Oh, they do speak English?
Yeah, it's a lot more. They speak whatever language they're bred in. So like, if there's potatoes in Russia, they speak Russian.
Okay,
Well-
fair enough.
And so I guess there would be potato interpreters that interpreted the different
Yeah.
human languages.
Yeah.
It could be both a human and a potato interpreter talking to each other, as long as they both know other languages.
Exactly, yeah. And so they have video of Dominic peeling the potatoes with a potato peeler.
Like the potatoes are vomiting in the aisles watching these videos,
That ain't me. I'm being framed, man.
and they're vomiting French fries.
I was gonna say they're vomiting they're vomiting sour cream. And sour cream and chives. And then the judge, who of course is a potato in a powdered wig, in a black cloak, they pass down the verdict. We in the potato tribunal sentence Dominic to death. And then what happens is
him go.
what
Like
happens
some
is
guy in the background.
yeah, there's a couple humans
Yeah.
don't like this thing, but they're forced to accept it because that's the rules of the tribunal.
Yeah.
But Dominic's, he's held prisoner for a couple days while they're preparing the potato guillotine, and
And out of spite, Dominic orders like mashed potatoes.
yeah,
for
this
his
is
last
last meal.
meal.
I imagine there's a human resistance that breaks into the potato Bastille, and they free him. They free Dominic to get him out, and that's actually what. Like that's a breach of the treaty.
Yeah.
And that right there is what starts
The second potato war.
well, that's what starts the big potato war. Like Dominic's trial was like merely the precursor to
Yes.
it.
Okay.
And the breaking of the treaty and us freeing him, that is what like turns it from a from just kind of unpleasantness to full-scale hostilities.
And he's going from cave to cave like Bin Laden.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The potato prime minister is calling for the humans to return Dominic, and
they don't have him. Like, they're searching as well, but the potatoes think it's a coup, or
there was rebels, of course.
Yes.
And then in the midst of all this, somebody deep fries this potato prime minister.
No, someone deep fries a senator. The potatoes have their own kind of hard terrorist group, and they're going around like deep frying these these House representatives and senators and putting them in a basket.
And just kind of like, this is what they're wearing potato hoods, like black potato hoods, so we can't see their potato faces.
Yeah,
but they are still kind of like, this is what you've been doing to our brethren for many years, and they dip the big basket into them.
And these guys are not for any kind of unity between the two people.
Oh,
they are fully on board of an entire entire potato uprising.
They just want some blood, some starch to come out.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. And
the roads will run white with starch.
And now I also imagine that the potatoes, they're weaker than us because they're potatoes.
Yeah.
But they've got numbers. They've got more potatoes than humans. So we may just stomp on the soldiers, but they got a lot of these soldiers.
It's like a tidal wave of them.
Yeah, exactly. And
they try to storm like the White House, and like it seems fine at first, everything's fine. Then the potatoes start coming, the ground starts shaking,
and it's like it's just a wave of potatoes, and structures collapse under them. Like, at this point, you might be able to stomp a few of them, you might be able to shoot a few of them, but these potato waves, they're tough. Like, the humans are equally matched. They might even lose this potato war, and I guess according to our story, they do. Like, humanity has to live in the rubbles of the potato war after that.
Mr. President, the potatoes have rolled over Seattle.
No, it can't be.
There were no survivors.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set a trap, and they're gonna put now they're looking for Dominic to set a trap in one of the cities, so all the potatoes congregate on him, and then they're just gonna firebomb the city.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if everybody congregates in this city, we'll give you Dominic. I'm just there on a pedestal in like a glass cage. They can see me.
And they're trying to get you now.
Like he has like a spread the word to the usual scumbags on the street so the word gets around.
Yeah, and
even though he's not there, it's just like they're willing to sacrifice another city in order to get these potatoes.
But I think eventually that the potatoes aren't stupid. They're not losing this. They're not going to lose this war because of stupidity. So when they go there and they see that they're not going to go to the city until Dominic is brought to the city for like a public stoning. And at first it's done as like a peace offering. Like, all right, we'll bring you Dominic so you can have your execution if we stop the hostilities.
Yeah.
But they're like, all right, well, you got to produce a Dominic first.
Well, I imagine it doesn't even get that far. Like they spread the word, but there's a mole. There's like a potato in a trench coat, like that. That's among the human ranks.
See, I was imagining that they do find Dominic and they wheel him out, and they're like, all right, we're gonna bring him out and everything, and then that same rebel group from before frees Dominic again, and so all these potatoes, like they think that, okay, treaty's here, even though it's gonna be a firebombing.
Yeah.
They lift up the thing, and there's no Dominic, and that is when things turn brutal.
After that, they don't even bomb the city. The potatoes bomb the city themselves.
Yeah.
They just roll through all the houses.
Like, they destroy everything. Like, I think we end up winning this war, but at what cost, kind of thing.
It literally divides the nation. Like, eventually, like the west, from the Rocky Mountains further west is considered potato country. It's all farmland, and it was annexed by the potatoes. And there's this huge border wall of insecticide. Or whatever kind of things that would kill them, like weed killer.
Yeah.
That is considered like this no man's land.
I imagine at this point, this is like many years in the future.
Yeah.
Some dumbass kids are like, I bet we can get across there, steal a potato, and bring it back. And it's kind of like a challenge for them.
Yeah.
And once they get into the vines, like the vines just kind of take them, wrap them up, and pull them under the dirt.
Oh, okay. I thought they go into like the DMZ area and like the potatoes with with
They shell them.
yeah, like there's potatoes with M5s. They just mow them down
I imagine
and make them fertilizer.
I imagine that some kid's like, listen, man, I'm telling you, there's a soft spot in the DMZ at 1 p.m. They don't guard, or 1 a.m. they don't guard this particular stretch. All right, man, let's go. So they go and they bring get them potatoes and they bring it back to the other side.
Yeah.
And now they plant this potato to raise it as its own. Maybe because maybe it's a dumb idealist and. Now to them, this is a diplomatic incident. This is a kidnapping,
and a lot of there's a lot of political upset because pardon me, that is
the potatoes are coming. The potatoes are coming.
There's a lot of political uproar because there are a lot of potato refugees that are digging under the DMZ and coming through and seeking asylum because. For most, for half of the of New Potato Country, it's quite fertile ground, but the other half is like Rocky Mountains and desert. It's the lower class of these potatoes that are just living in arid, horrible conditions.
Turns out that the potato that these kids brought harmlessly over was the king's potato. One of the king's sons that he was raising to be one of his 2,000 successors.
It's not even that. I don't think it goes that. It's like the son of a duke. And it's big enough to get the potato royal family involved, but it's still a very serious diplomatic incident.
And they do end up getting the royal duke potato back, but it dies in the middle of transport, being uprooted again and again and again.
Yeah,
it does no good for it, so it dies, and that.
But it's not real. It's a bad diplomatic incident, but there's been a lot of them. Like there's been these dukes that these other dukes that have come across the line.
They're whoring,
Yeah,
drinking and whoring.
Yeah, pretty much. Like there's a potato that killed a prostitute by accident, and it was a big political uproar. But they have diplomatic immunity, so they can no one can really do anything about it.
Then I imagine that there's maybe 5, 10, 15 years of peace. America, we're living in the ashes of this potato war.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to scrounge by. It's basically like the first Terminator, where there's kids just watching the fire on the TV for warmth,
Cool.
And that's when the asparagus rise.
It is like a weed. It's a blight on the land, and that just sucks up every available resource.
And the potato people and the humans, they're like, listen, we have to put our differences aside just this once to stop this threat. But it's too late almost.
Yeah, it's too late for humanity. The potato country kind of built this, walled off the country because it's now like this big futuristic utopia, and they're advanced far beyond. They have colonies on the moon and stuff like that. So they're not worried about the plight of these shitty humans. But eventually, an asparagus spear does manage to get across the line,
the DMZ.
Yeah, and into potato land, where it's just wreaking havoc.
Because the land is so fertile in lots of these places because all the human blood and compost.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just it grows unstoppable. And by the time they ask the humans for help, it's too late. They actually have to resort to peeling the planet.
Yeah.
getting the big peeler and just peeling off the planet.
Yep. I imagine like I wonder if the asparagus spears would like infect the potatoes.
And make
use them as like they grow out of the potatoes,
like zombie potatoes
Yeah.
almost.
I was feeling I was thinking like any potato that's like still in the ground and still rooted, the asparagus like corrupt them while they're rooted.
Oh,
and
man.
And it's like they still have their own mind, but the asparagus can like control their actions and things like that.
And like the potatoes are like they've been forced a lot to go into the cities and just flamethrower their own towns.
And they don't want to, but they can't control their actions.
Yeah.
Like, they do it like while they're flamethrowing, they're crying out of their millions of eyes.
Yeah, because it is not. It's necessary, but it's still tragic.
And I imagine that because these asparagus can control the potato,
Yeah.
some of these potatoes, and they don't know which is which. Like it really starts starts to cast division between them. Like they don't know who to trust anymore. They don't know what's a good potato or an asparagus potato.
And in Washington, the last fringes of still functioning government, in the R&D division, do breed a particular type of rabbit that is capable of doing this, but it doesn't. They don't know if it'll work in time because they don't breed as quickly as normal rabbits.
Yeah, I think that. Now, when you say the Great Potato War,
Yeah.
that is the only thing that I can think of for the Great Potato War.
This is all
Like
I'm gonna
that-
think of when I get French fries.
Like,
now.
that's one hell of a
You
potato.
monster! You still eat French fries?
They are delicious.
Oh, they are.
At least they're not vinegar and salt.
Well, I mean, there's
Yeah.
salt on there, and you can dip fries in vinegar.
It's disgusting.
Is that something
yeah,
people do?
that. Yeah, people
Are you
dip fries in
serious?
vinegar.
Ugh.
Yeah. They dip it in red vinegar.
What's
God.
red vinegar?
It's vinegar, just different colored. But yeah, people like that.
I don't get it. I'm not. And then again,
I can see the appeal to it.
I'm not a big vinegar person, so maybe that's it.
I drink vinegar straight.
Ugh.
No, I don't. I tried one time to drink that apple cider
I
vinegar.
think we both did a shot of apple cider.
I was only able to keep it down once, and after that, I couldn't keep it down again.
I think I managed, but it burned.
Wait, you did multiple shots of the apple?
Well, I mean, I mean, it was like it was supposed to be. Hold on a second. It wasn't like it was like fill it up again. All right, no, it was it was like supposed to be like a weight loss thing. Where like, all right, if you take apple cider vinegar and something else, like it's supposed to help get the weight off you. And I guess if you drink a lot of things that are disgusting, it'll make you puke.
Yeah,
just
I
torture
guess
your
you'll-
body.
Yeah, I guess if you're vomiting, you're taking in less calories.
So like day one, I did it. And I was like, oh, you know what? It was awful, but it was not so bad. It's like drinking anything else. And then day two, I tried it, and I was like, my throat just said, no, we're not doing this again. Just closed up immediately. I was like, come on. And I just spat it back up. I was like, well, that was that.
It's funny. It was a point where the brain and the body had a disagreement.
Yep, and the body won.
At the end of the day, like the body does have veto power.
Yeah, like the brain may try to tell you what to do, but the body's like, no, man, no. Like the brain might be the supervisor, but the body still has to do the work.
Listen, if the body disagrees enough with the brain, it can just shut itself down.
Yeah,
Oh, the brain also controls the limbs that can punch the body.
which I do.
I know. So why your body's breaking down?
That's maybe one reason, maybe not. I don't know. So, Frozen.
Frozen.
All right. Yeah, kind of bland. A little bit boring. Not. We had fun during at certain parts, not for the reason they intended, but I think you can skip it. It's not gonna. You're not gonna miss it.
If you got like the right group of friends around and you're cool with making fun of it, have some pity laughs at the movie.
Yeah.
It can be okay.
It was an idea that on paper probably sounded interesting, but in execution they just really pulled off because they had nothing more than just the one idea.
Yeah.
So,
Can't make an hour-and-a-half movie about being stuck in one place while getting frostbite.
do more in Wolves. Make it a ski monster, like Britain was saying.
Yeah.
Or a group of cannibals, or
Yeah.
traveling country bears.
or potatoes.
Definitely potatoes.
All right, well, I guess that'll do it now. Take it easy, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Thank you for listening.
That'll hold a little SOBs.